Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL. Don't panic. Yeah, doing one in my position of old this morning. Yeah, give you some turtle time. I know you missed the turtle. I hope you'll give you some action at some point in this video. I just wanted to do a quick lock-in. Tell you what I have done, what I nearly did, what I'm still thinking of doing, but walking myself back from the cliff, folks. I'm walking myself back from the -12 fuck it cliff. And I'll tell you why. I love a bit of chaos. I love a bit of chaos. Last season, the chaos worked very, very well for me in the running. Now, I'm not in as good a position as I was last season, to be fair, in the running. But neither did I have any chips last season in the running. And I got myself from about 500k to 50k. Now currently I'm in 888,000 place, but I have got chips, and I tell you what, I started filling out. I haven't completed it. I put enough in there, as we'll go through in a second, to see. Fuck me, there's chaos ahead. All these doubles and blanks. A lot of people have been sort of trying to review sort of how many people have actually used their the wild card, as I have in a pit of angst some weeks back, and it totally didn't work because about half the bloody players I brought in the wild card bloody fell over injured in one way, shape or form in the weeks after it. So my wild card, I have to say, was had a tiny bump, and then all the injuries came in and basically was blown to smithereens. However, we do now know who is doubling in 26. Arsenal and Wolves. We don't really know what's happening from in terms of the blanks and the doubles, other than roughly we believe we know where they are going to be. But it's got to be a mess. But I don't know why it feels as though it could actually be even more chaotic than last year. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I have got chips and I have to think about where I'm going to do them and how I'm going to use them. Not sure. But I know last year I kind of went against the norm, and it worked very, very well for me in that running. So I think that it kind of is my plan going forward. Is when I hit that period, yeah, just don't follow the crowd as such, and see if it works again. Just follow my bloody spreadsheet. Those are the averages. That's what it says. Play these players, even though everyone else is going in a different direction with their chips and doubles and etc. We'll see. But I think what I do in the next few game weeks is critical. Can I at least stabilize this ship? Maybe I can get myself to about 500k by game week 30, and then who the hell knows what happens from there, because it's not good at the moment. Let's not kid ourselves. I have made many mistakes. This season. Not sure why. I do know why. A few of you, especially say, a few months back, you guys know what I was dealing with. I don't know whether my head was screwed on straight or not. There were mistakes, but also, yeah, just a shitload of bad luck. There really was, yeah. 50-50 calls. Normally you sort of would think that, 50% of your 50% calls, but any bloody gamble I took just went pear-shaped. I struggled to think of one that worked, and they were a lot of them, not all of them. Some of them were a little bit off the beaten path. But a lot of them were fairly solid gambles based on data and information, etc. Just going against the grain, but just none of them paid off. And also, I think what I've done really badly this year is just not getting on. I'd say our league leader Dean has just been doing it so well, getting on players at the right time and getting off at the right time. And I have done it shockingly, really have. Anyway, we'll correct all these mistakes next year. Let's deal with what's in front of us. So I have done my one transfer. The eagle-eyed amongst you will see what I have done. Saka had to go. That was a real pain in the arse, as I say. The Saka injury, I think in this new mindset, playing this, going back to steady Eddie, trying to stabilise things. Saka would have been a good hold, I actually think, for this double as a differential. And a precious transfer has been forced upon me. So I have brought in Mbumo. Why Mbumo? And I was toying between, you know, the money was certainly there to go with Verts, who I'd really still very, very much like. But I think in a this period of chaos, fixture congestion, blanks, doubles, etc., I've just gone with someone that I know he's not necessarily a 90-minute man, but he's certainly an 80-minute man, I think. The form is kind of there over the last 5 that he has played. I'll go through the spreadsheet in a second. But you know, he's a pretty much a guaranteed starter. He's in form. The United attack is ticking. They do look like they could get 2 or 3 goals most games. The defence look like it can see 2 or 3 goals most games as well. But I certainly won't be going for the defence in the short to medium term, unless that drastically improves. But I've gone on Mbumo. The fixtures are not awful, but United do look as though they can get a couple of goals against most teams they play. And with Bruno there feeding Mbumo, especially if he is, and that's not guaranteed because Sesko's running into a little bit of form as well. But if he is playing that number 9, all the better. But he did get a lot of his goals for Brentford, obviously, from out in that right wing position last season. We shall see. The deed is done. The question now becomes, as I say, am I happy with this team? Verbruggen, Gabriel Tarkowski, Matthias Nunes, Liverpool away, not great. Chow, Brentford home, Newcastle battered this morning by City, looking really leggy. I don't know, but I haven't got the transfers to play with. I'll talk to that a little bit in a second. Palmer. Let's see. It's a huge differential. He's still even now. He's still very low owned. You know, it's something like I think it's still less than 5% maybe. It's a huge differential, but where is he? Show me, give me some of the power. He could turn the season around in 2 or 3 game weeks if we could get on one of those runs that we know he's capable of. But is he capable with that groin? So he could be the next on the chopping block. As I think to what I need to do in the next couple of game weeks before I really have to roll up until game week 31. Rice, yeah, fine. Hopefully he can find his form. Enzo, yeah, fine. In a bit of form, obviously getting a couple of goals, good fixtures. And Boom, as I said, Bruno, yeah, not going anywhere. Haaland. I tell you what. Got to run through this in a second, but I keep forgetting to mention it. But Liam, he's won the Bishop Brennan Cup twice in the last 3 weeks. I failed to mention. I don't know why I didn't even think. You know, he did his wild card 2-3 game weeks ago, and it's a no Haaland draft. Sorry, a no Haaland team, and did it as a wild swing to save his season. But he's had 2 massive hauls in the last 3 weeks. Won the Bishop Brennan Cup twice in 3 weeks. I don't think anyone's done that before in the year or 2 that I've been doing it. No Haaland, I'm telling you, it has to be thought about. But what I also have to think about is move this out. Let's just bring the spreadsheet up and make it a wee bit bigger for you lot. Yeah, and this is what I need to get is this this graph of mine. I'll just bring that up there. Got to get that upward curve going. It's the bloody roller coaster of doom. 888,000. Now 888 is a power number in China. 8 is anyways. So 3 8s. Right, we're starting from 888. The only way is up because it's a power number in China. It's the most powerful number, the number 8. So I've got 3 of them where I am at the moment. So right, let's get this bloody thing on the frickin' rise. How are we going to do that? I don't know. I'll talk through this a little bit. Let's get this up there as big as I can for the time being. So you guys can see it reasonably clearly and see some of the chaos that we're going to have to deal with. You don't need to really see me. Listen to my dulcet tones. Let's get this as large as we can so it's nice and clear. Okay, so we've got the other teams, it lines up. Okay, 25. 26 doesn't look too bad. We've got the double in 26, which you know is Wolves. For Arsenal is Brentford and Wolves away. So my first big question is, where do I go? with my third Arsenal player. I've got 1.5 million in the bank after the transfer out of Saka. Who do I bring in for Saka? One of the things I was very close to taking the -12, and I thought my wild swing. See if I can remember. I hovered over it. I just said no. Let's put it up on the screen there. Do I hit the proceed button and just take the -12? And it was a bit of a wild swing. Now where was I going with it? It was to bring Madueke in for Palmer this week, even with Palmer with Wolves away. Bring Madueke in, move move Barnes up to Bowen, and move move John up to Pickford for a -12. It's still a little bit tempting, to be honest with you. It actually resolves a couple of issues further down the track, but -12. No, I don't think I'm going to do it. I still am a little bit tempted, to be honest with you. A little bit tempted, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Madueke in there is still something I might do. Okay, let's talk. Let's leave the nonsense, but let's leave the -12 nonsense behind. Let's talk seriously here. Teams that double in 26 are obviously going to blank in 31. So you can see in B31 further down the track there. I've currently got 4 players that will blank in 31. But I've also got 2 of the bench players that could come in if I want to bench 3 of those. They've got Robbie and Alderete have got Newcastle away. That's not ideal. It's not ideal. Though you never know in a Tyneside derby, do you? Anything and everything could happen, and Newcastle will have had a bit of more European football. Still the FA Cup? Not sure actually. That fixture congestion is going to kill some teams, so you never know. You never know. Again, story for another day. Again, but dealing with what's in front of us. Sorely tempted by Madueke as a really, really big differential. It does sound as though Saka is out till 27. Maybe longer, but that's a sounding. So you would get the double out of Madueke. So what I'd be relying on there, I mean, the problem there is that I could take Palmer out and bring in Madueke, but I'm taking Palmer out for Leeds at home. Do I really want to do that? Are Palmer's minutes safe? I remember last year we all stuck with Palmer for fucking ever and ever, and nothing ever came. We'd get stuck through fantastic fixture runs. Am I repeating the mistakes of the past if I stick with Palmer? But then you've got Burnley at home. Oh, you can't take him out for those, can you? Okay, so let's see how that fixture goes against Wolves before I make a decision on that. Okay, what are the other options? Well, the easy one's Timber, isn't it? The easy one is Timber, and that probably would be to take Chow out. Take Chow out because I just don't feel there's too many clean sheets in Newcastle's future. So that probably is the favourite and the most sensible thing to do in 26 would be to take Chow out. And it's Tottenham away, and I know Tottenham are not great, but I just don't see clean sheets in Newcastle's future. So that's probably, as I say, it's probably the most sensible thing to do. Chow to Timber in 26 for the double. But it's so fucking boring. Everyone's going to be on that. I mean, that is going to be, it really is, isn't it? It's going to be double Arsenal defence of Gabriel and Timber and Rice. Every man and his uncle is going to have that. It's the sensible thing to do. But it ain't going to gain me anything. Any real advantage. And this timber may be a little bit of a rotation risk. A minute's risk. The one I would actually really like to do, this would involve a hit, in 26, it's actually rare, believe it or not. I'll tell you why. It actually resolves, because if I'm bringing in another Arsenal asset outfield, that's going to be another transfer that I'm going to have to do in blank 31 or before blank 31. There's another transfer that I can't roll, and I hopefully get to a point by 27, really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 27, 28, I have to roll some transfers. It's as simple as that. To manage through, obviously, I think we can. I think most of us can manage through 31 and 32 without using chips. We'll have to. We'll have through blank 31. I think we should all be able to manage through this double and blank 31 without using chips. If you've got your wild card, I would suggest it's probably going to be game week 32 that you'd use it, and that's where sort of really having that 4 or 5 transfers is going to be pretty critical. If you've got your wild card and you've built up, so though you've got your wild card, try and build up some transfers and have your wild card. You'll manage through the chaos that's going to be double 33, blank 34, and probably a small double in 36. There might even be more in there. I think I've got that just about right. But the FA Cup, we don't know what's going to come out of the FA Cup matches. I'm jumping a little bit here, sorry guys, but the chaos around doubles 33 and blank 34, particularly as so many people have used their wild cards, is going to be massive. There's going to be hits flying all over the place. Try and get a position to roll some transfers. If you've got your wild card, you're in a great position. And even then, I would suspect rolling a few transfers is going to be handy as well. I'm going to fill this out as this builds out, as we get more information, as we understand who is doubling, who is blanking, who are the teams we could target to fill in those doubles and those blanks, except we're wanting the doubles and the blanks. Well, I'll expand this out on a week by week basis as we get more information, as the FA Cup matches go by, etc, etc. So that's going to be an ever evolving chart as I try and keep blacks, as much black out of the blanks as possible, and hopefully see in the double 33 that I'm getting a decent amount of doublers in there. So that's going to be, as I say, an evolving part of the spreadsheet. Back to my rare thought. It could be worthwhile taking the hit in 26. Unfortunately, I would like to ideally upgrade John to rare, but I don't have quite enough money. I'm about a half 0.8 short on that. But if Palmer was to come out, no problem. Whether I do that to Madueke, well, no, it won't be Madueke, what am I saying? If I did Palmer to Verts, Liverpool's fixtures don't look too bad. They look pretty bloody good, to be honest with you. We can get there. Then I've also got a rock solid keeper for the rest of the season, basically, and probably some reasonable rotations every now and again, maybe with Verbruggen here and there. But in general, it's just a solid, safe pick for the rest of the season. And whenever he does have a double or a blank, which could obviously happen, given the quality of the team, that there could be more blanks or doubles in the future. There, I've got cover and a rotation between Verbruggen and Raya. But it will require freeing up some money. But it also means that I'm moving myself towards a potential bench boost. With those Sunderland lads, if I look, and I don't like to do transfers and try and manipulate things so I can do a good bench boost. I think that's a fool's errand. But if it comes as a natural part of this process, and I see a really good nice bench boost that could give me just a little lift before we hit that the chaos of 31 forward. I was thinking I could have got there in 27 and that would have been the advantage that if I had taken that -12, it was actually setting me up for a really lovely bench boost in 27, with Brobby and Alderete home to Fulham, and then where would we have? Yeah, there would have been. When I was looking at it, it set up a really nice bench boost. I think that comes a bit too soon, and I think I want to, as I say, want to try and preserve some transfers as we get more FA Cup information. So maybe 30, if I can get Barnes to, and I think Bournemouth have got a reasonable fixture. Then yeah, yeah, that looks nice for 30, doesn't it? Bournemouth, Burnley away. So it could be a Krupi Junior maybe. Yeah, that's food for thought. Sorry, you know me, inner monologue going here. Back to the point. Going round in circles here. Raya resolves some problems. Has he got as big an upside as Timber? Of course he hasn't. But Timber's not been pulling up any attacking trees either, has he? You know, so if he could even get close to matching him, I need a bit of luck. But Raya does solve some problems going forward if I get him in for John. As I say, it lessens my transfers further down the line. They've got their double Arsenal defence, so let's hope there's some nice little clean sheet points there along the way. Brentford away, Forest home. Sorry, what am I doing? Where am I? Yeah, there's good fixtures there. There's really good clean. Tottenham away, yeah, maybe. Chelsea home, yeah. Brighton away, Everton home. Then we've got Bournemouth home in 32. But it means, as I say, I can bring Verbruggen in. Oh God, Liverpool home for Verbruggen. That's not great either, is it? But at least it's something. At least got a player out on the pitch. This is what I'm saying. It's a minefield. It is an absolute minefield. It is a minefield. I do like the Raya idea though. It would be a much better rotation if I could change Verbruggen into Kelleher. Lovely rotation there. I mean, I do like that Brentford run of fixtures, you know, and as the picture of 33, 34, 35 unfolds, hopefully a little bit, 27, you know, there's a few nice fixtures to get Brentford in there for. It's an absolute minefield, guys. It really is. So to cut a long story short, I lost my mind. I probably will filling this thing out over the coming game weeks. We've brought in Bowen. I think that's a sensible enough transfer. If I had to move, you know, the transfer's forced upon me with Saka. So Mbeumo's in, decent fixtures. You know, few tough ones in there. But as I said, I fancy this United attack against anyone at the moment. They could all go pear-shaped. 1 or 2 injuries in that United team, and it could all change. Particularly in that midfield area. But if with one game a week for the rest of the season, I think it was the sensible move, and shouldn't be impacted too much. I mean, United obviously could end up having to, depending on how the FA Cup matches fall, they could end up with a blank or a double further down the line. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Playing the possibilities, playing the averages here at the moment. So what are we going to do? I think we're just going to go with this. I think that team is a lock. We'll get more. I mean, who knows? I mean, people that have already got their Arsenal tribble up. Supposing Gabriel picks up an injury, supposing Timber picks up an injury, supposing Rice picks up an injury. So I think it is. That goes against my nature. I think we hold fire on doing anything else. We'll go with this. Forecast says 54 points for game week 25 without a captaincy. It's not ideal. We could drop outside the top 1 million this week, I fear. That almost predicts that I do. But it's been a funny old season. I might not. It's don't know. What do you think? I think I'm locked, but I tell you what, it's going to be hard to keep my finger off that transfer button for the next few days. What do we got? 1.5 days to go. Oh, take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. Did Timmy make an appearance? There he is. Hopefully you can catch that. Say bye-bye, Timmy. Say bye-bye. I'll see you lot soon. Bye-bye.